First person that's going to be speaking is Police Officer Vincent Fulgeri. So whenever you're ready, Vincent, just start off with how you got the job.
While on patrol this morning, around 5:30 in the morning, we responded to a call of a male and female in the water. It started up at the Williamsburg Bridge, at which point when we arrived there, the male had already come out of the water, and the female, we had lost visual of her in the water. So we did an initial search with Harbor at the location where she first went in the water. At which point then, we started moving southbound with the current. I figured she might have been swimming underneath the pier. We sat there for about 45 minutes as the search continued, where she initially went, and then at which point we made contact with her further down, and at which point she was very despondent, did not have any desire to come out of the water. We told her we were there to help her. She had no interest in coming out, so at that point myself and Detective McGee, while wearing our dry suits and personal flotation devices, made entry into the water and grabbed hold of her, at which point Harbor Launch was there, and we were able to get her safely on the boat, put her in a personal flotation device, bring her over to awaiting EMS.
How difficult is it when you have a person you're trying to get out of the water and they don't want to go with you?
It's just as hard as it would be if it was anything else. She didn't want to go. She had no interest in coming out of the water. She said she would just continue to swim away from us, and we told her we were just there to help her. So, I mean, we got her under control, and we brought her right to Harbor.
Did she say anything?
Just that she didn't want to come out of the water. She wanted to stay there.
Any other questions?
So the gentleman that was on, can you tell us a little, did he talk to the police and say,
He was,
trying to save her?
yeah, he went and saved her. She went under the water, and he lost sight of her. So he was by the time we had gotten there, he was already out of the water. So
Was he a passerby?
no, I don't believe he was with her. I think he was just passing by. I'm sorry? He was out of the water. I'm not sure. He came out. He self-rescued. He was out on his own. It was up closer towards the Williamsburg Bridge. That's initially where we responded.
And then where did you capture her?
We ended up. She was swimming underneath the pier. She emerged back towards the end of the pier, right before it curved. At which point, Officer Fisk, he saw her initially, made contact with her, telling her, stay right there. We were going to get her out, and that's when she started swimming. We followed her down to the end, and at that point we went in the water. The current, I mean, it was moving. I'm sure that definitely helped her in her swimming, because she got down there, it seemed pretty fast. But once we were there, it was a pretty short distance, maybe 15 feet from where we went in the water to where she was. We just tried to get somebody on each side of her, just so that we swam to her. Like I said, we were almost right on top, right when we got to her. She was right there. Yeah, she went under. Initially, she went under the pier, and they had lost visual of her by when we had gotten there, and she must have swam under the pier. Yeah, it's definitely tough. We go in the water in our dry suits with the flotation device, and on the shore we have somebody holding us on a line of rope to make sure that we're never drifting off, because the currents can get pretty rough.
It was slack tide.
It was cold. It wasn't anything. It's hard to tell when you're in your dry suit. I mean, it was cold, but nothing crazy.
Guys, I'm going to put up the lieutenant from Harbor. He'll tell you about the current and what effect that may have had.
Yes, this morning around that time, the current was slack. It was a very, very slow tide, maybe about a knot or two. Maybe like a mile per hour. Very soft current. Exactly, less difficult. When she first jumped in, she had no clothes on. And we pulled her out, no clothes.
Megan, can you describe how you guys were in verbal contact?
Sure.
Step up the mic.
We responded. The Harbor Unit launched 311. The pilot, Officer Schaefer, he was steering the boat. Basically, we arrived at the location, started canvassing along the pier slowly, at which point we observed the female probably halfway back into the pier by the Billings. It's very dark under there. We could hear her screaming, so we were trying to maintain voice contact with her. We were advising her that we were there to help her, and we waited for our scuba team to come in to do some dives and try to find her. However, she decided to swim a little further down, and that's where ESU was able to grab her.
She's screaming for help.
She was incoherent at the time. We couldn't really get anything from her. She was just screaming and yelling, and we were asking her to remain calm and to stay, close to a billing so that we would be able to get to her. However, once the divers went in, there was complete silence at that point until she was spotted by Officer Fisk.
Guys, you have any questions? Anybody else?
One more. She's been in the water for a while, and you guys haven't seen her for a minute. Maybe after this was done, you found her, and you took her in the water for that period of time all the time. What was it feeling when you got her on board?
You know the temperature of the water?
It's about 73 degrees.
How long was she in the water?
We responded. We got the job at 5:43 hours. We had eyes on her at approximately 6:01, and she was pulled out of the water.
Probably about an hour in the water.
An hour in the water, about. Aviation was securing the scene.
Guys, you good? Everybody good? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Guys,